Welcome to the COVID-19 Vaccine Education Module. This e-learn was adapted from Sunnybrook Health Science Center. We are committed to the safety of our staff and patients, which includes protecting our population from COVID-19. Along with our existing public health and personal protective measures, the COVID-19 vaccine is the most effective way to prevent COVID-19 infection. This education session is intended to provide you with the most accurate information you need to make an informed decision regarding immunization. This module does not focus on specific COVID-19 vaccines, as all of the vaccines currently approved by Health Canada are safe and effective.
To date, over 127 million people have been infected worldwide with the COVID-19 virus. Nearly 3 million people have died from COVID-19 in the last year, making it the fourth leading cause of death globally in 2020. Ontario has seen over 250,000 important surgeries delayed. In addition to the tremendous impact on our healthcare system, COVID-19 has affected us on a personal level, with restrictions on many daily activities, most importantly on our contact with friends and loved ones. COVID-19 does not just impact older people. As more older individuals get vaccinated, and with the highly transmissible COVID-19 variants of concern on the rise, the demographic of those impacted by COVID-19 is now younger adults. These variants lead to a 4-time higher risk of intensive care unit admission and double your risk of death. We can't predict who may experience the most serious complications of COVID-19. On March 21, 2021, almost 60% of all COVID-19 patients in Ontario ICUs were between the ages of 40 and 69. Many patients, including young and previously healthy people who had COVID-19, are experiencing long-term complications. We're seeing struggles with memory, fatigue, body aches, and heart and lung damage that are lasting for months. Everyone who gets COVID-19 gets it from someone else. If you get it, you may be fortunate and have a mild case, but what's minor for you could be devastating for someone you pass it on to. There are many benefits of vaccination to ourselves, our loved ones, our patients, and our community. Click on each image for details on the benefits of the COVID-19 vaccine. The COVID-19 vaccine substantially reduces your risk of being infected with COVID-19. If you do get COVID-19 after you are vaccinated, it will decrease the severity of illness. One of the major benefits to staff immunization is achieving community immunity within our population. We depend on each other for community immunity. No vaccine is a guarantee, but it's our best defense to protect ourselves and everyone we come into contact with. Your vaccine might stop COVID-19 from reaching someone who won't survive it. The sooner we get community or herd immunity, the sooner our lives can begin to go back to normal. Every choice we make right now either increases or decreases risk to ourselves and everyone we come into contact with, and everyone they'll come into contact with. By taking steps to protect ourselves, we help keep our patients, colleagues, and loved ones safe. Elderly patients, immunocompromised patients, patients with medical comorbidities, particularly patients on dialysis or living with cancer, have the highest risk of developing severe illness and dying. Staff vaccination can greatly aid in stopping transmission to these patients. Vaccines currently approved for use in Canada have been shown in clinical trials to be highly effective, between 70 to 95%, at preventing even mild infection with the COVID-19 virus. Even more important, they are 100% effective in preventing hospitalization and death from COVID-19. Real-world data from other countries that have been vaccinating since late 2020 show a dramatic decrease in hospitalizations related to COVID-19, despite society opening up and many public health restrictions being lifted. In Ontario, the vaccination of over 90% of residents and 55% of staff in long-term care homes is estimated to have reduced COVID-19 cases in residents by 89% and in staff by 79%. It is estimated that the risk of death in long-term care residents has decreased 96%. At the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center, with 78% of the staff vaccinated, the incidence of COVID-19 infection in staff is reduced by 98%. All steps to evaluate standards of safety, efficacy, and quality were met in the approval process for the COVID-19 vaccines. There were no serious side effects reported in the vaccine clinical trials. As of March 12, 2021, over 2.8 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine have been administered across Canada alone, and over 520 million doses have been administered worldwide. In Canada, only 287 serious side effects were reported. That means serious adverse event rate of 0.01%. That is safer than commonly used medications like Advil or Tylenol. As with most vaccines, some people can develop mild side effects, like pain at the injection site, fatigue, headache, chills, fever or muscle pain in the days following the immunization. Side effects are more commonly reported after the second dose. These mild side effects typically resolve within 48 hours and are a sign your body is creating an immune response, and not a sign of infection. The vaccine was able to be created quickly because of global efforts with the world's leading scientists focused on a single task. There were essentially unlimited financial, scientific, and technological resources. No steps were skipped in the process of developing, testing, approving, and producing the vaccine. The mRNA in COVID mRNA vaccines does not interact in any way with your DNA. It is not possible to get COVID-19 from the vaccine. Vaccines only contain the blueprint to make a protein on the surface of the COVID-19 virus, which is harmless on its own, so that your body will create antibodies that will recognize and attack the real COVID-19 virus if you are ever exposed to the virus in the future. The rates of serious reported side effects like Bell's palsy that were seen in the clinical trials, 4 out of 22,000 people, are consistent with the expected rates of Bell's palsy in the general population, and therefore does not suggest that it was caused by the vaccine. Serious allergic reactions, or anaphylaxis, after receiving the COVID-19 vaccine have been reported at a rate of 0.02%. This rate is consistent with other commonly administered vaccines, like the flu shot or shingles vaccine, and is much lower than the rate of anaphylaxis to common medications like penicillin. There have been some reports of serious blood clots related to a specific COVID-19 vaccine made by AstraZeneca. This complication is very rare, estimated to occur between 1 in 125,000 to 1 in a million people. Compare this to the incidence of blood clots after flights that are greater than 4 hours, which is 1 in 4,655. Also, getting infected with COVID-19 increases the risk of blood clots to as high as 1 in 5 in hospitalized patients with COVID-19. Remember, as we vaccinate millions of people worldwide in a short period of time, there will be bad events that coincide with the timing of vaccine administration due to chance alone, like getting into a car accident after being vaccinated. That does not mean that these bad events are caused by the vaccine. However, scientists and regulators continue to monitor for any connection between any bad event that coincides with the administration of the vaccine. Overall, no matter how unlikely you personally think you are to get sick from COVID-19, you are far more likely to get sick and have complications from getting COVID-19 than you are from getting the COVID-19 vaccine. You can get the vaccine if you have allergies. If you have a history of serious allergic reactions to medications or previous vaccination, you can still get the COVID-19 vaccine, but it is suggested that you bring your EpiPen to your vaccination. If you have allergies unrelated to drugs or vaccinations, you can still get the COVID-19 vaccine. The only exception is individuals who are allergic to polyethylene glycol, PEG, or polysorbate should not get an mRNA COVID-19 vaccine like Pfizer or Moderna. Long-term side effects with vaccines are fortunately quite rare. As with other vaccines, severe reactions would typically occur within days or weeks after vaccine administration. The COVID-19 vaccine has been administered as part of the clinical trials since late summer 2020 and in the real world since December 2020. Participants in the COVID-19 vaccine trials were observed for 8 weeks, which was felt to be long enough to observe for potential side effects. To ensure ongoing safety, scientists and regulatory bodies worldwide continue to monitor for any evidence of extremely rare events. There is no evidence or scientific explanation to suggest that the COVID-19 vaccine will impact fertility in either men or women. For women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, many experts believe the benefits of getting vaccinated outweigh the potential risks. Real-world studies are showing that not only is the vaccine effective in women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, but protective antibodies can be passed on to their babies. Conversely, getting infected with COVID-19 while pregnant can be dangerous for mom and baby, with higher rates of admissions to the ICU, preterm birth, and babies admitted to the neonatal ICU. As of March 22, 2021, there have been nearly 945,000 cases of COVID-19 in Canada and over 22,700 deaths in people of all ages, a death rate of over 2.4%. It is also becoming more recognized that many patients who have had COVID-19 have at least one persistent symptom 6 months after infection. This is called long COVID. By comparison, over 2.8 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine have been safely administered in Canada as of March 12, 2021. The serious adverse event rate from the COVID-19 vaccine is only 0.01%, and no deaths have been reported. Even if you have been previously infected with COVID-19, it is recommended to get the vaccine, as it is currently unknown how long you are protected after infection. Therefore, getting the vaccine decreases the risk of reinfection with COVID-19 and also provides protection against variants, which you may not have been exposed to. Getting your vaccine is an important step in ending the pandemic. It is safe and effective. We can already see the impact the vaccine has had on the population. In the first 2 waves, the elderly were impacted disproportionately with the virus, but this has changed significantly as we enter the 3rd wave. Those over 75 are accounting for fewer and fewer cases, and now a majority of the infections are happening among younger ages who have not yet had broad access to the vaccine. As someone working in the hospital, you are eligible to receive the vaccine. Please take full advantage of this opportunity. The benefit of getting the vaccine for yourself, your family, your patients, and to society are immense. It is becoming clear that getting vaccinated will be key to returning to many of the things we miss most. Please consider getting vaccinated. Protect yourself, protect your family, and help bring back whatever it is that you've missed most this past year.